YouTube, what's good? This is your boy Lavish Life DJ Peck of Lavish Life Events. I have an exciting one for you today. I'm so happy to have you here. So, right over here we have the EV Evolve 50 in white. Over here we have the RCF Sub 705 AS2 matched with the Turbosound IP300. Probably not the most ideal match, but it gives me the look, but it also gives me everything I need in terms of my sound. So here it is. It's a comparison. First thing we're gonna do is set it up and see how easy it is to set up each. Both are pretty easy, but nothing comes close to the Evolve when it comes to setting up. All right, without any further ado, let's get this cracking. Yeah. So the first thing we're gonna do is a setup test. Not really a test because we know the EV Evolve 50 is the champion of setup. Very easy, 2 pieces, 2 parts. Couldn't be easier. Let's do that, and let's set up the RCF sub with the IP300 as well. This is a M20 sub pole, and it does extend, and look how small that is. So I can actually put that in my bag and travel with this just like that. There you have it. Those are the 2 set up, and you know, again, the EV Evolve 50, everybody know that that is the fastest, one of the fastest systems to set up. This guy here, kind of similar to your Evox 12, Evox 8, but still pretty fast. The top, the IP300, is very light. It's about 23 pounds. You know, the entire system is not bad to set up. The one thing with this is it for the Evolve. You know, just plug in your power and the XLR to go. This, I still have to plug in the power and the XLR, both to the top and the sub. So, you know, still a little bit more work over here, but to me, to do a little bit more work, just a little bit more work to get a better sound, trust me, I'm all for it. So definitely pay attention to 2 things here, is the size of the subs. Over here we have a 12-inch sub from the EV Evolve 50, and this is a 15-inch sub from the RCF. So right away, I believe you're gonna notice a difference in the low end, the bass, but we shall see once we turn the music on. Up top, you have the magic of the EV in this column here, and that's going up against the IP300, so we'll also see how that sounds. There are better tops that you can buy, from RCF to EV, the QSC, but I like the look, the column array look of the IP300, and it gives me as much sound as I need, plus the bass that I desire. Alright, so when it comes to setting up the RCF and the IP300, one thing to consider is you have to run power and XLR from the RCF, or from the Turbosound IP300 to the RCF. So I actually have this combiner cable here. I don't know if you can see it. It has one in here, and there. Something you don't have to worry about with the Evolve, because the Evolve, in this pole, you have basically the speaker connection to the top and power, so you don't need that. So you just have one cable that you have with the power and the XLR going into the EV Evolve. So efficiency goes to the EV Evolve. So because of that, the one thing you don't have to worry about with this guy here is cable management. With this guy, you certainly do. So I have these little ball attachments here, and you can see the cables coming all the way down and going towards the back. I could do a better job, but for this demonstration, we're just gonna rock with this for now. So that's what it looks like from the front. Not a bad look, but definitely not as good looking as this guy. So you can see the two cables coming off right there. Typically at an event, we make sure those are well hidden, but let me show you the Evolve and how that look in the back. This is the RCF setup. So as I mentioned, all you need, I got a combiner cable that has the XLR and the power. So it goes from power, XLR. I have that here, but I need the separate cable. Well, I don't need it, but to make my life easier and to make it efficient, I have this cable that has 3 separate attachments to it that goes all the way up to whatever my top is, which is the IP300. And you got your XLR, your power, and that's coming down. XLR power from the sub, because I'm running the power and the XLR connection through the RCF. The advantage of having separate top and bottom is I can do a crossover, and I can match any top I want with this. So if I want to do a little bit of a bigger event, I have that advantage. No such advantage over here. This, it is what it is. That's the system. Just so you are aware of my settings, I'm gonna put everything at unity, everything at 0. Your basic settings, everything at unity. I'm running the audio through a Yamaha MG06 mixer, and I'm running it mono instead of stereo, and I'm playing iPad through an aux if you were interested. Alright folks, let's power them up and see how they sound. Alright, I had to go into portrait mode to get these bad boys. They're so tall that the wide angle camera can't get the full height. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'll play the EV Evolve 50 first, and then I'll play the RCF and the IP300. Now visually, when you see the light on, that's the particular system that's playing. I know there's a lot of adjustments when you upload music or sound. Relatively speaking, they should be the same. So this is a relative test, not an absolute test. So you can relatively tell the difference between the two, hopefully. All right, let's get it crack-a-lackin'. Here is the EV Evolve 50. Alright, so that was the EV Evolve 50. Definitely sounds great. I mean, the clarity, the bass, everything just sounds really well mixed. This is everything at Unity right out of the box. So if you buy this system, this is how it's going to sound right out of the box. I'm going to try to do the same thing with the RCF and the Turbosound IP3. Just everything at Unity, turn it up to the same level as I did with the EV Evolve, and we'll see how that sounds. Alright, so this is the RCF Sub 705 AS2 coupled with the Turbosound 300. Alright folks, so there you have it. That's the test. Final thoughts coming right now. Yo, that was a shootout. For real, like final thoughts is I'm very surprised by this little beauty here. How well it performed for a 12-inch subwoofer. Man, it definitely kicked. And then right out the box, it just sounded great. This system behind me, the IP300 and the Sub 705 AS2, that system sounded great. And what this gives me is more headroom. You know, once you start pushing this thing, which I did at my last event, I pushed it really hard. I didn't blow it. I said I blew it last time, but I didn't. I tested it out and it was fine at low volumes. At higher volumes, you know, there's not a lot of headrooms. You know, the highs start sounding muddled, and with this, I believe I'm gonna have a lot more headroom to, you know, push it hard and turn up the bass. You know, this bass, oh my God, once you turn this thing up. So at Unity, they definitely sound very similar. This is how I normally run my EV Evolve 50 anyway. I might put up the volume a little bit for this, but I tend not to put it up too much. But I also feel like I don't have enough headroom. With that, all in all, both systems are great. I think this with the RCF, this gives you a little bit more room to kind of advance and to grow. You can add different tops. You can add, you know, 12-inch tops, 15-inch tops. You can add better tops, and you know, with this, you're stuck with this, right? So, I mean, either way, I always say it. I do about 90% of my gigs with the EV Evolve because they're easy, they sound great. But at times, I need this thing here, this setup right here. Let me know what you think in the comments. Lavish Life DJ Peck. Stay lavish, my friends. Peace.